Randall. I'm a candidate for North Carolina's 13th Congressional District. I'll read a prepared statement, then I'll briefly answer questions. As most Americans are aware, our nation is facing a domestic crisis on many fronts that threaten its very survival as a constitutional republic. One of these issues is the Gulf of Mexico disaster that looms as an ecological and economical nightmare. I would like to set the record straight on my position with respect to this disaster. First and foremost, I have not, and I still do not, accuse any person or entity, private or government, of wrongdoing. Speculation is one thing. Accusations are entirely different. But I believe there are many questions that remain unanswered, and our focus is lost in the process. So with that, I ask the following. Does my political opponent or anyone believe that there should not be an investigation into the circumstances leading up to this disaster? Also, were safety rules ignored or violated with government approval? If so, why? Why have we refused help from other nations? In light of this disaster, did it make sense to do that? South American and Central American countries and other nations, as well as China, are drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. Why a U.S. moratorium on drilling at this time? Why is the administration making cap and trade relevant to this disaster? These questions, ladies and gentlemen, are real issues that I want to emphasize. With that, I'll take your questions, and I ask that your questions be germane to the Gulf of Mexico issue. Thank you.
Bill, you're trying to say that basically your position yesterday was asking for investigation. That's not what was controversial about your statement. What was controversial about your statement was the suggestion that the federal government and BP colluded to have some role in the oil spill. Now, you've said you have absolutely no evidence that this is true. Do you still stand by that speculation, or do you want to back away from that?
I don't want to back away from any call for a thorough investigation into this situation. I think that we have a responsibility to do that, and anything short of that is not serving the American people.
So do you believe that the federal government had a role to play in this disaster where they would intentionally spill oil?
Sir, I think you cannot take anything from my statement that indicates that.
I think the whole country saw your statement and took that away from it. Was your statement misconstrued? Was your statement misspoken? Or do you stand by your assertion, your speculation that the federal government had something to do with the BP spill, that the oil was intentionally spilled?
My statements are a matter of record. If you care to review them and derive whatever conclusion you want to derive, you're free to do that. But I reiterate what I said in my opening.
So you're saying your statements were misconstrued by everybody who watched them?
First and foremost, I have not and still do not accuse any person or entity, private or government, of wrongdoing. Speculation is one thing. Accusations are entirely different.
So you stand by your speculation that the government and BP colluded to cause the oil spill on purpose?
Sir, I think I spoke clearly on the last point that I made.
I'm not sure that you did. Can you answer that question, yes or no?
I'm sorry, I am not responsible for your understanding.
So if anyone interpreted your statements to believe that you were suggesting that there was an intentional spill by the federal government and by BP, you would say that they were misconstruing your statement?
Our people are hurting in the United States, and I don't believe that parsing words or going round and round on verbiage is what we need. We need action. We need to find out what happened, because now the threat is that we're not going to drill.
You said maybe they wanted it to happen. How's that being misconstrued?
Sir, we're at a point right now where our nation is at a threshold where if we don't do the right thing, it is a serious threat to our republic, and we may not recover from it if we don't do the right thing.
So you're not going to answer the question?
I've answered the question. My statements that you already have on record remain. you and others are free to go there. And by the way, I don't think we should put ourselves in a position to where we think that we could be the universal spokesperson for everyone that viewed the video. Now, it seems to me that you're trying to put yourself as spokesperson for everyone that viewed it. Your conclusions are what they are. The statements are on record. You can interpret them the way you want, but I am taking this time today to make sure that there is no misunderstanding and no misinterpretation of what I said. And that's
So then
why,
will you clarify whether you believe that there was collusion between the federal government and BP to intentionally spill oil? Will you clarify that point?
I'll clarify this. I believe that the situation is grave enough for us to really look in and investigate what has happened, and what I believe, no matter what, whether it supports, denies, or anything, any theory or what have you, is irrelevant. What is important is that we move forward and do the things that are necessary. And necessary steps in this case is getting to the bottom of what has happened, what happened with it, take the necessary and prudent steps to alleviate the disaster, the ecological disaster that we have, and then move forward to help our country move ahead economically.
But if what you believe is being misconstrued, why not say what you believe and make it plain as day?
I believe I stated what I believe.
Can I interject something, Bill?
Yes.
You mind?
I guess the question here, though, I mean, as a reporter, do you feel like there's been enough investigation done? I mean, don't you feel like there were steps missed in this process for BP to drill?
I'm not here to state an opinion. I'm here to ask Bill to state his.
I'm just asking a question back.
Yeah. I appreciate you trying to intervene, but we're here to hear from the candidate.
Sure, I'm not trying to intervene.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to ask you a question. Do you think there were enough investigations done in this? Do you think there have been enough investigations done on this? In the spill.
There are numerous ongoing investigations.
And it's going to be not just in engineering, but it's also going to be a matter of what the government did and didn't sign off on.
But
right?
once again, what Bill said yesterday, or actually 2 days ago, wasn't controversial because he said there needed to be investigations. What he said was controversial because of the suggestion that the federal government and the Obama administration had something to do with intentionally spilling oil in the Gulf. And you've not said anything to dissuade people from saying that you stand by that statement. Or you've not answered.
I think I have been very clear. I think I've been extremely clear, crystal clear, because I said first and foremost, I have not and still do not accuse any person or entity, private or government, of wrongdoing.
But do you believe that's what happened?
Sir, what I believe is irrelevant at this point.
You're running for Congress. You don't think you should expound on what you believe?
I think with respect to this is really where we need to concentrate our effort.
So if I could summarize your position, you're not saying that anything that you said on Tuesday was incorrect or misstated. You're saying it may have been misconstrued, but when asked to clarify what you believe, whether you stand by your speculation that the federal government had something to do with intentionally spilling oil in the Gulf, you're not directly answering that question. Can you say it yes or no?
I'll tell you this. If you go back and review the footage of what you're citing, you will actually see where I told you in there's not evidence to come to any conclusion with respect to that.
So if there's no evidence of it, why are you speculating that that's what occurred?
I am not speculating anything. I just stated my position.
You just earlier said that you were speculating that, but you were not accusing. Now you're saying you didn't speculate?
I'm saying I didn't speculate. I'm telling you right now, I am not accusing anyone of anything.
What do you believe happened?
I am not going to make an unqualified statement.
Do you think that your earlier remarks were unqualified statements?
My earlier remarks were engaging the topic for the sense of really generating discussion on it, and I think that objective was achieved.
You use the word conspiracy. You said I'm not a conspiracy person. Is that irresponsible? I mean, to suggest that that's a possibility without having any information?
If I were to leave it there naked, I think it would be. But if you put a disclaimer in there to say that that is not your position, I think that is responsible. Because until the facts emerge, you cannot come to any conclusion.
But if you're elected, are you going to speculate, or is that going to be something that you're going to do in a lot of issues? Can voters expect that, speculation about facts to back it up?
I think voters can expect me to represent their interests in a responsible manner.
So you think it's responsible to make very explosive speculations without any shred of evidence that justifies anything you said, and that's responsible?
You know what? I think it is responsible. We have a nation that is being threatened from without and within. We have individuals that are walking on eggshells, that actually feel that anything that they say is going to be put to the litmus test, to where if they say the wrong thing, they're going to be castigated, they're going to be smeared, and this, that, and the other. So in many cases, they choose to just not engage the situation.
But you're not saying you said the wrong thing.
I
You're saying
think
about
it's
what you
time.
said.
I think it's time for us to engage the real issues and to put it out there for us to have a real constructive dialogue on. And in a case wherever you think an investigation is called for and one hasn't been done thoroughly enough, that you do that.